Hi, my name is Ara and welcome to my first ever art YouTube channel. So the way this video is going to work is you're going to be watching a speed paint / speed draw / speed sketch, I don't know what it's called anymore, of a character named Jackson from my comic, which I will talk more about after introducing myself, because obviously I don't have any other videos and I don't want to be one of those infamous YouTubers that just posts a video and everyone's like, who even are you? That actually leads us into the first question, which is, who even are you? Or who are you? As I introduce myself, my name's Ara, or that is actually a short name for Angelic Russian Artist. No, I am not angelic, and yes, I am Russian. No, I do not live in Russia, and that's the most I'm gonna say because I made this username a long time ago, okay? It aged horribly. To also explain more about myself, because I don't think you only want to know about my name, I am a 16-year-old art student in New York City, and that's really all I think I can say, minus that I'm also a writer. I'm obviously an artist, as you can tell by the speed paint and also the drawing on the side of Jiho, lovely Jiho, and I sew, I sing, I act, I do a lot of things, you know, as any New Yorker would. The second question is, why did you decide to make a YouTube channel? Well, I've always kind of wanted to have a YouTube channel. I even did with a LPS YouTube channel. Yes, you will never be seeing that ever again on the internet. But I have a lot of other social media, and I know that a lot of artists get a lot of traction from YouTube and also get a lot more people seeing stuff. And my big goal for being an artist is so I can make people happy and make people see things that I write or draw and etc. and just make people's days like a lot of the YouTubers that I watch. Third question, what other social medias do you have? Well, I'm glad nobody asked. I have Instagram, Medium, TikTok, Amino, and I'm probably missing something else. But that's around everything that I use on a mostly weekly basis. I am extremely active on Instagram on my art account, so if you want to see my art, go to Angelic Russian Artist on Instagram. I have the same name for every account because I know how hard it is for an artist to just have completely different names everywhere and you just have to try and track them down. The next and almost final question for this section is, what will be part of this YouTube channel, posting and such? Well, again, glad nobody asked, but I will most likely be posting speed paints, character stuff, poetry, kind of like the Dead Poet Society type of thing where I'm just sharing poems and y'all can just comment about it. Vlogs as well, maybe some gameplay, counting that I play Minecraft, Animal Crossing, and I hope to play some other games. I also play Doki Doki Literature Club, and if you know what that is, I'm really sorry. You are probably severely traumatized. I will also say you're probably going to get very tired of my incessant rambling since I talk pretty fast. I've been told that a lot, so apologies from my end. I hope you can still understand the incoherent sentences coming out of my mouth. In terms of posting on a more closer categorical scale, I will say that a large part of it will be art stuff, sketchbooks, sketching, thoughts, school life. So if you're into that, please stay with me because this is very scrappy, I get that, but it will get better as the weeks continue. So thank you if you're gonna stay, but if this is just a one-time thing, slay. Honestly, sometimes we just need a new person that we watch, and then we realize what we don't like. The fifth and final question, which will lead us into the next section, is, do you have any big projects, collections, or art you're proud of? And in parentheses, I wrote, that day in the asylum. And if you don't know what that is, I completely get that since not a lot of people do. It's like my deep obsession in my brain, but it's not a hallucination. It's actually a thing that I've been writing. TDA, or That Day in the Asylum, is a comic I'm writing, a mystery comic, just so you know. And it's one of my most prized possessions. If I need to save anything, I'm saving my iPad, which is ironic because it has all my art, but the main reason is because it has my manuscript. But if I was to say something else, minus That Day in the Asylum, I would say check out my 365 days art challenge. I didn't complete it. I got to day like 20, but it was very far gone due to the fact that I have school and such, but I really like the art I made in that week, or month-ish, okay? I get to be proud of that month-ish. If to mention another project slash collection, I would say I do not have this in collections yet. I actually might do this after this voice recording, but I've done a lot of posters for my school's plays, and I'm so proud of all of them. I've done like 5 currently, or 6. I've done 6, and more will be coming this year due to the fact I'm in an arts high school. So if you want to check out something that you're just like, I want a lot in one page, and I want it to scream at me, and I want to know absolutely nothing about it, but everything at once, check that out. Check that out. I promise you're gonna love it. Now, as a reader would say, let's get on with the actual plot minus the side plot twists. And that is That Day in the Asylum. The first question of this section is, what does TDA stand for? Which I kind of, sorta, yes I did spoil that, which is That Day in the Asylum. What is the genre is the second question. And as any author would with the books that they write, they just freeze up and don't know what to say. But I will say it's a mystery, a detective, and it's very sci-fi. Third question, what is the main plot? Oh, I love this question so much. I got no clue. Honestly, no clue. If I had to summarize, it's a kid going missing, Jackson, who I'm drawing currently, look at his beautiful face, and his girlfriend, which is Mei-Lia, and his best friend named Ji-Ho try and find him for a copious amount of volumes. It's not ending in one book. Don't worry. You have to suffer and get tortured for much longer than that. So please thank me if you're interested in this. Obviously, if you're just like, what? I'm just trying to stare at pretty art. Continue doing that. Slay queen. Fourth question. When is it gonna come out? Well, I'm glad you asked. Hopefully, I can get it out before the summer of 2024, which is very long. I know. Ever since the Miles Morales movie came out, that new one, people are just screaming that it's coming out in 2024, even though the movie literally came out like a couple months ago. Beats me. I hope to get it out sooner, before the summer of 2024, but that is the date I'm aiming for, as it's still in its draft stage. I'm almost finished with the draft, and then I have to get a bunch of beta readers, because surprise, surprise, it actually has a lot of diversity, and as a white person, I really don't want to mess that up, and I really want to represent people the best way I can, and I don't want to write other people's stories. Honestly, I will write the stories that I feel that I'm connected to, but the ones that I have absolutely no knowledge about, I need to fix that to make sure it's accurate and it comes to the right hands. 5. Mei-Lia's description, which, if you didn't remember, that is Jackson's girlfriend. In this speed paint, you will not see much of Mei-Lia. You might see her at like the start and at the end, because I think I zoom in on all of the characters at the end. God, I don't even remember my own speed paint. But I will say that she has a very unique look to her, and it's still visible in her headshot. It's still visible that she's kind of a fashionista. There's something going on there with her Twilight Alice Cullen haircut. Yes, that's where I got the inspiration from. No, it was for sure not Princess Diana, and I totally do not think they have the same haircut. Is that offensive to British people? Beats me, I have no clue. But to actually get to a description of her, the best way I can describe her is that A, she's Jackson's girlfriend, but that's to the side because when the Bechtel test fail is that. She is a computer science major, because we love that. Where am I going? Oh, never mind. I forgot how my own character looks. Stand by. But Mei-Lia is a computer science major. We love science major girlies. I want to make sure she wasn't just like specifically into fashion and always revolving her around certain things that are always strictly feminine, which I think is completely fine, right? Because femininity, amazing, okay? To be a feminist, you need to accept all sides. Snow White movie. But I also think it's very healthy to include a lot of more quote-unquote traditionally masculine jobs or features or etc., which is a partial reason as to why Mei-Lia is actually a computer science major, but it's also because she's obsessed with computer science. She's obsessed with computers. She loves everything to do with coding, with digital design, and etc. And fun fact, she's actually the one that started this whole charade that made me have sleepless nights. She is the first character I ever drew, and then everyone else came after her. It was like a butterfly effect. It was a domino effect. She ruined my life for the next 3 years. Oh yeah, this has been in the works for 3 years. I like to say often that Melia is the heart, the emotion, the whatever the smart word is of the group. Even though they're literally all separated, Jiho and Melia by strict feelings and hate, and Jackson by proximity. Bro's literally an asylum. Well, he was, and then he's not. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. That's where the name comes from. If you didn't guess, it was actually from the start of the comic. But I will say that Melia is the kind-hearted one. She is the one who's the most emotional, the most there for her friends, and she's also the middle sibling. Yes, you heard it right here, folks. She is the middle sibling, so she gets tortured twice as much. And also has mommy issues. That I hope all the older sisters that have to take care of their younger sisters or siblings in general just get like a stab in the heart from that. Just like, oh god, she makes breakfast like us. She does the laundry. She cleans everyone's rooms. Which yeah, that's what she does. That's what she does. And she's also a big animal activist. She, as said, loves fashion. She loves anthropology. She loves learning. Her room is covered in maximalist clutter. Like curios everywhere. Posters, just trophies, weird grandma bedding. She's even into knitting and poetry. I mean, what would you want in an Alice Cullen-haired girly with huge earrings? To spare you your time from me ranting about Melia for 4 hours straight, because honestly I could do that for all the characters, we will go on to Jiho, and hopefully I don't rant about him for 4 hours. If you paid attention at the start, you could see that he has a very interesting haircut for just an American man in the 70s. It's a very interesting haircut, may I say. He has, if you didn't see, a more K-pop styled haircut, more Korean styled, because ding ding ding, he's Korean, and it frames his face. But then he has two big tufts of wavy hair around his face like curtain bangs, and then he has bubble braids, very short ones, very slim ones, very small ones. It's like he just has like two like rabbit ears of hair on the sides of his head. And that haircut, bane of my existence. I had no, if you look past, like in my past art, in my Instagram, in my Amino, you will see the progression of his haircut. At first he didn't have the tufts of hair. Before that he didn't even have his braids. He just had a like very K-pop haircut. But now no, man's has everything. Okay? You said jump, he said how high, except to do with his hair and to his poor hairstylist. Now you may be asking, why do all of your characters have weird hair? Why do all of them have strange hairstyles? That's a big thing in TDA. All the characters will have some type of big, fun, interesting hair, because hair is a big part of my identity, so I put that on to everyone else, aka my creations. I will also say, something you probably didn't ask, or just kind of confused about, why does Jiho have a K-pop haircut? I mean, he lives in America. Well, his dad's actually an immigrant. More as in he left Jiho in the Americas, and just went back. He is an actor, a very famous actor in this universe. And so Jiho just tries his best to keep up with his dad's standards, aka being neat and adjusting to the standards of Korea and his Korean father. I will say though that a lot of the things I draw here are up for difference, or the things that I'm saying are up for difference, counting that I'm not Korean. Pretty obvious by my face if you've ever seen it. I'm a Russian Jew. So if any of this sounds off or sketchy, minus the Snow White claim, which would totally get me canceled right before I even start, literally. But if any of this sounds weird or some of it just doesn't align, please tell me and tell me some interesting facts or whatever, because I'd love to have beta readers. I do not have any, and I want to make sure I represent people the best way I can. So with that out of the way, time to introduce Jiho as the main perfect man, very imperfect actually, man he is. Much of how I just described Malia, he is the brains of the Find Jackson Miller operation. Due to the fact he doesn't want to get his hands dirty, he doesn't want to get caught, he knows he's not good at that, but he's not emotional. It's actually quite the opposite. Throughout the entire comic, meaning the entirety of it, not just the first volume, he is very apathetic. He is very cold. You could see by those eyes right there that he is not very open to any type of discussion about where he gets his clothes from. You can ask him, hey, I like your shirt, bro, and he's gonna look at you, give you a death stare, and then just keep walking. So that also leads me into another point. He's also a fashionista. He loves gym clothes, he loves patterns, and his favorite colors are green, blue, and neon yellow. Yeah, you heard that right. You heard that right. That man has a really weird color palette, and that will be used for his entire wardrobe for the rest of whenever. Hopefully I don't change those colors because I think they fit him so perfectly. He is also a Spock fan. Bro loves Spock. He just loves everything alien themed. And in general, this guy is such a sci-fi whiz. You can just compliment his clothes and he's gonna like stare you down. But if you mention a single thing about Star Wars, he's gonna lay it flat on you. He's gonna lay it flat, just everything he knows about the lore. He is in the fandom. He is the fandom. To make the Jiho lore even thicker is to say he's actually a psychology major. Fun fact, bro is a psychology major, and he loves it. It's not like he took it because somebody told him to or his dad. He just takes it. He just takes it because he likes it, and he has a lot of weird things that he does in the comic due to the fact he's a psychology major. He loves watching people. Absolutely revels in it. If I were to word vomit about Jiho's interests, it would be the gym, Star Trek, anything sci-fi or alien or just fantasy related that's in space. Anything like that. Anything horror. Bro loves doing stuff with his hair. He loves putting stuff in his hair. He loves putting strings and beads and charms into his hair. He also loves cooking. He is very cleanly, I will say. Very cleanly. Totally not something to do with the plot. And I think that's as much as I can say about him, because knowing him really takes away from getting to know him. Because he is so cut off from people. He has no friends. Minus his nanny, which is Italian, and she has raised him since he was 7. And the friend that he makes in Volume 1, and Jackson, obviously, because Jackson is his best friend since he was around 7, 8, right when he got into the US. And yes, turns out it's not actually his father that's the immigrant. I worded that wrong. It's actually Jiho. Jiho is the immigrant, and his dad left him with a nanny. Why? You will learn soon enough. Also, may I add, because I think calling her his nanny is just so disrespectful, Lucia? That woman is a saint. I love her so much. She taught him about his hair. She taught him how to cook. She taught him how to make his diet healthy. She taught him how to not push himself at the gym. She taught him how to have good communication skills. He is a mama's boy in the best way. We love Lucia. Lucia needs her own fan club. And yes, I will be drawing her on this page or sometime, but she will for sure be in this collection of art. Yes, don't even question it. If you thought I wouldn't draw her, you are out of your mind, because Lucia is a queen. A queen. Now Jackson, the character which I arguably love the most is actually the ways of this operation, even though he's not there, which is very ironic, counting that he physically cannot do anything. Physically is unable to do anything involved with people finding him. But he is still the ways counting that. Fun fact, there is a file that they go by. The way that they're finding him isn't just willy-nilly. They find something in his belongings, which is a case file with a bunch of stuff ripped out. And they have to find him based on that tiny little thing. That's it. That's it. And that's what jumpstarts all of this. That's what they focus on. So even though it's so small, he is the Ways. And also, he's been classified as the Ways since day one. Since you even meet him. He has done everything in his abilities to do anything that he puts his mind to. He is the one character that doesn't get scared, doesn't get sheepish. He just does what he wants, and he doesn't get shit for it. May I add, y'all are probably so surprised by how it can say so much, but at the same time say nothing at all. This is the perfect skill for somebody who's writing something to have. Please believe me, I'm not doing this because it's fun. Actually, yes, I am. I take that back. But I'm truly doing this because I want to make sure I don't spill anything. I just want y'all to know about my characters, resonate with them, and then suffer for months before it comes out. And I give you literal crumbs. Why is Jackson so difficult? You may not be asking. And I will say it's because he is autistic. I'm not going to hide that. I'm not going to keep that, because it's something that has a lot to do with this character. And he has a very interesting role, as he is the most indifferent, neutral character you could ever have. He is the morally gray hero or villain. He could honestly be both. And that is what makes his character so fun and my favorite. But at the same time, doing that to an autistic character is very hard, because you need to make sure that it does not happen due to his autism, and that he's not a villain because of his autism. And you may be saying, like, well, nobody's gonna think that because that's to do with him. A diagnosis doesn't mean anything. But if you look into media as somebody who resembles autistic traits and sees the harm that goes on in a lot of social media communities, like The Good Doctor, and that horrible movie called Music by Sia, who actually recently got diagnosed with autism, which is honestly hilarious, but also very sad. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to misrepresent an autistic person, because it's already enough in the media. And as somebody who's affected by those representations, I will say, I will make his character work. By the day I die, I will make sure it works. So don't worry. If something doesn't sound right, it's going to by the end of it. Unlucky and lucky for me because of the complications with Jackson's character. Love you, Jackson. Love the drawing so much, even though people say he looks fruity, even though he's not. Maybe. I wrote a lot of stuff down concerning his character, so I'll just share that out loud about him as a person and what he enjoys. He is a true crime lover. He loves crocheting with Maylea. He likes to call Jiho Watson. Fun fact, he's Sherlock. He calls Jiho Watson. His dad is a serial killer. We can just skip past that. His mom is a cute UK lady. Yeah, you heard that right. He has a British accent. The British people will love that. He only understands drastic emotions, and only when things are said in a very like black or white way. He never understands people like speaking like objectively and socially. He only gets either objectively or socially. You know, if you know, you know. If you don't, be grateful. He also works as a private detective. He hates laws, absolutely. He hates our government. He loves reading old classics. He loves reading poets because he doesn't understand what they write, because a lot of it is so gentle and so metaphorical and so just it like sweeps past your nose, and a lot of people understand what it's saying. It's like a tiny little dot of water on your palm. You get that there's water on your palm. He has no clue. He has no clue what's even going on there, but he finds it interesting because it helps him understand. He also enjoys tennis. He plays chess with Jiho. He loves trickery. If he was represented by a Norse god, it would be Loki. Just because of the morally gray aspect, and also because he's a mischievous little cheeky man. He is in psychology with Jiho. He studies psychology, but he has different minors. He finds emotions fascinating, as I mentioned previously, and he learns new things to use as a kind of focus mechanism or coping mechanism. He uses it as a way to help him get through stuff. He loves learning. It's his thing. He has a bunch of hobbies due to the fact that he has a hard time really sitting with his emotions and what's going through him right now. You're probably wondering why he has blue eyes. Some of you may not be, because you're like, oh, sometimes that happens. Like, anybody can have blue eyes. Well, not in Jackson's case, counting that he's actually mixed. His dad is Irish. Very fitting. And that's where he gets his blue eyes from. It's a recessive gene that he somehow got. But I will say, I'm not going to say what. I will say, but I'm not going to say what. Jackson is not the only mixed main character. You can battle it out in the comments if you watch this of which one it is, Jiho or Melia. I think it's pretty obvious, but I'm actually interested by everybody's viewers, audience's perspective. By now you probably forgot that this was actually formatted with questions and answers. Yeah, me too. So the 8th question, wow, we're so high up, is what are Jackson's relations with Jiho? Very simple. They're best friends since both of them were around 7/8, and they love each other, and they've done a lot of growing with each other. And by love, I mean bromance. Okay, there's no love triangle going on here. And they also attend the same courses, and there's a lot of nuance to their relationship, which will be covered. It's very angsty, it's a lot to handle, but they always get through it together. Why? Because they're best friends. Because they're twin flames, because they were there for each other when nobody else was. But then what are Jackson's relations with Melia? As I've mentioned before as well, he is her boyfriend, and they met in college, which, surprise, surprise, this entire thing goes around in college since they're all around 21, 22, 23-ish. And they just met up one day. It was like by accident, and they immediately fell head over heels for each other. And fun fact, this is actually Jackson's first real relationship. Same as for Melia, except she is a huge hopeless romantic. Why do you think she reads poetry and knits? Come on now. I will also say that their relationship works so well, not only because that they just clicked, it's because they're so hugely different personality-wise. She's bubbly and extremely emotional, and she has these small emotions inside of her which she just needs to express, but she's also big with how she expresses it. And she's patient and kind. And Jackson, he has a hard time with people finally understanding him or seeing him for who he actually is. And Melia gives that to him. And he gives Melia safety and comfort, not feeling like she has to be the okay to his la la la. If you know that reference, I'm glad, because I just sound like an idiot. But if you don't, please don't bully me. I'll cry. Okay, so I know a lot of you were probably screaming through the screen to get back to the serial killer part, and before I do that, I think his mom is much more interesting, Jackson's mom. Her name's Elise. She's this really sweet lady who's completely the opposite of Jackson. When I say Jackson is like a cream pie, she is like a grilled cheese. That is such a weird comparison. But she is so sweet and so genuine and so caring. She cries. She has big emotions, small emotions. She has a lot of things she just doesn't say. She's one of those people that you meet and you're like, they are just so genuine and innocent and pure, and you want to hug them. And she's just so lovely. She lights up the screen, which is the reason why she's actually not on screen that much, because I don't want to bless y'all with joy. Or my readers with joy. Don't confuse me. I'm a trauma writer. I'm not a happy comedy romance writer. Now to his dad, which is a pretty lame topic, but his name is Samuel, and he's divorced from Elise, which is ironic, counting she's the sweetest lady in the world, and he still loves her to death. He still loves her, but he's in jail due to his various crimes, and I can't say much about him, honestly. Now, before I get to a giant page of questions concerning characters, I will say that if you have any questions about anything, or any thoughts, or concerns, or wishes, or worries, about anything, even my sense of humor, because I've said a lot of things that can probably make me somebody's worst enemy in this, which is hilarious, because this is my first ever YouTube video, already making enemies, we love that. But if you do have any questions at all, please put them in the comments. I'll reply as soon as I can, and I would love to see any interest in my comics, since this is like, I'm so happy writing it. It means the world to me, and I think it's pretty obvious by how I use my humor, how much I put into the characters, how I'm drawing them so often. But fair heads up, I'm not gonna say anything very personal to the comic, specifically in the plot sense, or what's gonna be going on in the comic, or etc. If I want to give certain things away in animatics or drawings or etc., I will. Like I've done with the Jiho and Melia scene on my Instagram, which I will probably pop up here. I will not give away anything. So if you're asking very in-depth questions about something that's going to happen or something that may happen, chances are I'm going to tell you something humorous or funny or just plain out stupid and make you so confused on if I agree or disagree with what you're saying. So just fair warning, I'm not going crazy, I just don't want to give anything away and not be rude. As we are soon going to hit the 10-minute mark until the video ends, which is perfect amount of time, we are going to go through this big list of questions by Heir to the Diamond Throne from Pinterest. That's where I found this. If you know where it actually originated from, please tell me, because I do not want to just answer these and then give no credit. Mind you, due to the fact that I'm drawing our wonderful Jackson here, that is who I'm going to be answering the questions about. So if you're like, who is she talking about? Jackson. Jackson. Homeboy Jackson. So the first question, when they tap their fingers, do they use the pads of their fingers or their nails? I would probably say Jackson does pads of his fingers strictly, due to the fact that his nails feel icky on a board. I'd even go as far to say that he hates the feeling of his nails on anything hard, so he keeps them fairly short, and so whenever he has to like stim or fiddle or fidget, he just uses the pads of his fingers. Second, what textures can they absolutely not stand? This is actually perfect for Jackson since he has a lot of sensory issues. Again, hard things hitting his nail beds or nails. Anything that's very thin and anything that's very thick. He's very specific about his paper. He hates those, you know those pens, right? Those pens that give you that like roll ball feeling that are usually pretty thick with ink. Those, he hates the way those feel as textures. And also I'd go as far to say, again, that he has a lot of issues with very moist things, which is the perfect word to use if you just want to anger a large sum of people on the internet. Anything wet or moist, he cannot stand being in water for way too long, so he takes extremely short showers. But, of course, bro keeps clean, but I'm just saying, he will avoid staying in there for an hour like some people. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Whoever just looked at their phone, or iPad, or even TV, yes, I'm talking to you. Why do you take such long showers? Why? For what reason? Also, don't be fooled. I am one of those people. I'm just judging you because I want to judge myself. I didn't plan this, but ironically, the third question is, how long can they go without showering before they feel gross? I'd probably say Jackson will go like maybe a day or two without showering. That man will, if he can't get into a shower, he'll just use a washcloth. He will just use a washcloth. He is not getting stanky. The fourth, do they leave clothes on the floor or a chair? Yes. Even though he is very specific on certain things, I think he's pretty messy. Because he has I have his floor plan, which sounds so creepy if you didn't know who's fictional, but he has everything on his desk, everything in his closet. It's all messy. It's in boxes, but it's all messy because he cannot organize it. He's too busy girl bossing to organize anything. And if you're a girl boss, you get what that means. You know that it's so hard. Oh God, this is my least favorite part of the speed paint. I'm watching this with you, and do not mind this horrific incident that I did to poor Jackson. No, not that weird shaped lip. You're gonna see. But let's continue. 5. Do they sleep in the bedroom door with the bedroom door open or closed? Whichever one. If he prefers his privacy, if he's just not feeling it, or if he's gonna be disruptive because he's up late all night due to writing something in his journal, taking notes, doing homework, being a girl boss, then he'll probably shut his door. He's probably gonna shut it because he does not want to annoy his beautiful, amazing, kind, loving, pure mom. But if he's just gonna go to sleep, he does not care if his door is open. He has no interest whatsoever in keeping the demons out. Okay, they can come in all they want. As long as he doesn't have to feel his nails on a book, he good. Bro's good. 6. Which do they prefer? 3 a.m. or 3 p.m.? This, at first, I thought 3 a.m. 3 a.m. because he stays up way too late to do things. But at the same time, 3 p.m., it's right when he gets out of school. But at the same time, then he probably goes to take a nap at home. So yeah, 3 a.m. 7. If they suddenly woke up with animal ears and a tail, what animal would they be? This may sound weird, but I immediately thought of Tom Nook. He would be a raccoon / whatever his species is. I forgot. He's not a raccoon. That I know. I found that out, like, recently. And if you didn't know that, yeah, Tom Nook is not a raccoon. He's the same species as the main character from BNA. And if you've not watched that, it's an anime. Instantly a bunch of people click off. 8. If they could only eat one thing for 20 days straight, what would it be? Instant noodles. Instant noodles or his mom's cooking. Specifically her, I was about to say beans on toast. My brain just has such lovely thoughts, to just offend all of the British people here. But I haven't thought about his mom's cooking, honestly. All I know is that she does cook since she is the sole provider and sole caretaker of her son. But if Jackson really had to choose a specific food, it would be noodles. Because it's easy, he doesn't have to work for it, he can just eat it and also work. 9. Are they the type to reread a book? Yes, 20 million% yes. He will reread any book that's about psychology, about the human mind, anything poetry related. He will reread it, he will re-annotate it. Would they want to know the exact date and time of their death? I would say no. I would say he would not want to know due to the fact that he would start to lose his mind. 11. What's our favorite mythological creature? Mothman. I don't even have to explain that one. 12. If they had to listen to one song on repeat 100+ times, what would it be? Any type of EDM. I'd say any type of funk. Like anything that's that, he could listen to that a bajillion times. 13. Do they believe in an afterlife? No, he's actually an atheist. 14. When they get tired, do their eyelids twitch? No, he just has this really weird look in his eyes, like as you see here, his eyes glow, kind of. That's what I'm going to implement into the comic, even though that's not really accurate to how real people's eyes work. 15. What are their favorite textures? Anything like hot press, like hot press watercolor paper, that. 16. Do they crack their joints? No, he hates how it feels. 17. Would they drink something too hot or wait for it to cool? He would wait for it to cool because anything that's too hot or too cold, he hates it. He hates it more than anything in this world. 18. Are they the type to adopt strays, animals, or people? No. No. He is not a horrible person, but at the same time, he cannot take care of an animal as much as he would want to, which he doesn't. He doesn't really like animals, unlike Malia. 19. Do they get work done straight away or wait until the last moment? Straight away. He doesn't have enough time for that. 20. How do they bathe, shower? Long or short? Hot or cold? Short, and like, you know, the little bit below hot? Like, you know how women have like the hottest hell showers? He will actually do warm. What they say is warm, that's not warm. That's hot for him. He needs warm. 21. Are they the type to daydream? Absolutely not. 22. Do they work best in a messy space or a neat space? Messy all the way. 23. Do they keep any personal photos? Yes, he keeps them in a box. Like, he has photos of Malia with him. He has photos of Jiho. He likes to keep them, but he doesn't usually look at them. Only when he wants to feel something. 24. Do they indulge in anything? Detective work. He spends night and day on it. 25. Would they do the exact opposite of what someone says just to spite them? Yes. If you have autism, you know. 26. If they're alone and hear a noise, would they go and investigate? I mean, he's a personal investigator. He is a detective. Like, come on now. 27. If they're lost, what is the first thing they would do? They would keep quiet and try and last there as long as possible and find a way out. 28. What is the one dream that makes no sense but is absolutely terrifying? For him, again, it's just irrational fear of tapping his nails or something even scarier, being like attacked, but nobody knows where he is. Like, he's emotionally being targeted, but nothing's happening to him physically, and he cannot get out. He physically cannot get out. 29. What is the stupidest thing they've ever done just because someone said they couldn't? He's stolen food with Jiho before just because it was a dare. Just because it was a dare, he did it, and he almost got his ass whooped. And 30. Are they stoic or melodramatic about being injured? Stoic, because he cannot feel pain that much. Which, again, if you're autistic, you know, it's your interoception and your pain receptors are sometimes really screwed up, and that's what's with him. He may feel a really small scratch on his leg and be in massive pain, but he could get hit straight in the back of the noggin and he wouldn't feel anything, be so confused why you're so worried. That was so much to say because I was so worried about the time, but as the video is coming to the end and you're seeing the end of the drawing, the speed paint, the whatever it's called, still don't know after 40 minutes. I hope you enjoyed this experience and me just word rambling. If you have any suggestions for how to do these videos, or anything that you just didn't like or that you liked and want me to continue, or some content that I haven't even thought of that you want to see, please tell me. Also, please tell me if he looks fruity, because everyone keeps telling me that he looks like he goes to a gay bar, and I don't know how someone can look gay. Honestly, even my gay friends said he looks gay. So I don't know what gay looks like, but I'm kind of concerned. But yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I'll just let you watch the end of this, see the speed paint. If you were watching this the entire time, congrats, you got to the end. And if you were just listening to me ramble like a podcast, how did you deal with me this entire time? Like, I was half screaming a lot through this. So I think you need to get your hearing checked after this. Just make the appointment. Just make it. Don't question it. Just make it. And besides that, I hope you have a great day, and I'll most likely be posting something next week. And if you're from the future, that next week already came. And thank you so much for just even watching this. And I know I'm very funny, or think that I'm funny, and I talk a lot and I say a lot. I'm just glad you're here to listen and you're interested as much as I am into this comic, and here you get a quick view of all the characters. Thank you again, and have a wonderful day.